wider market. Meantime, in this neck of the woods, it's going to be a very, one of the key points this week on the political front going to be Wednesday. Thailand did lift their ongoing state of emergency, and you've been watching the scenes of protest outside the Prime Minister's place of work in Bangkok over the past several weeks. Samak Sundarawet eventually was deposed as a result of that. Well, Wednesday is going to bring a new era of leadership in Thailand. Will it be a dawn in the kingdom? Reuben Mondejar from City University of Hong Kong joins us this morning, and thank you so much for making your way in during a holiday. What's going on in Thailand? Things are a little calmer now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but anybody's guess who the next leader is going to be, and will the next leader have any more of a mandate or any more gravitas than Samak?
Well, I think one thing we have to look at is Samak, I think, though elected democratically, did not really give a good image in terms. This person has kind of little charisma, if he has any at all. But what makes it worse is the PAD, which has democracy in its name, and the Democratic Party. Both of them are sort of now in unison conniving to precisely remove democracy. So then this is like a question mark for the whole Thailand, the future of politics there. What do they want to have? It's not clear. And there's a lot of rumors that, after all, many of the protesters are just being paid to go.
What do you mean, what do they want? You mean the people, as a nation, they're confused at this point. They seem to have well defined what they don't want, you know. But what do they want? What's the alternative? You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't just protest against things that go wrong and not have some ideas about how to make the country right. And that's the crisis they're going through.
Well, I don't even agree that they know what they don't want. I think they don't want Samak as a person. But you're not sure whether they don't want PPP as a whole. Maybe if PPP presents an acceptable someone, they may change their mood. Now, if they don't want any PPP, will they really want a visit? Will they want the man of the Democratic Party? That's also not sure, because at the moment the Democratic Party is quite quiet. They're not very much in the news, so waiting. I think waiting to be handed on a platter what probably will be the Prime Minister.
I haven't really understood the Democrats' position. Last week, I think it was Friday, I talked to Kun Abhisit Vijajiva. You know, for a party, for a political group that espouses democratic views, for them to, you know, even tacitly acknowledge the destruction of a democratic initiative, like the election of Samak, it seemed a little bit contradictory to me. I mean, they found ways around it, and the argument kind of went on and on and on without a conclusion. But you know, have they failed to adhere to their own principles on the Democrat
That's the
side?
reason why they never really got off as a party in a big way, because they're not really first, they're not strong in what they want, and then secondly, the principles that they hold have not really caught on with the people of Thailand. So they are not pro-poor. Thaksin was very clear that he was pro-poor. So, and what do they really say? What does the Democratic Party stand for in Thailand? It just means that, okay, this is a good-looking boy, British educated, British-born male. Does that mean that everything will be nice and dandy with him there?
If I could use a U.S. Political analogy, just because people are familiar with the whole concept of the red and blue states, I would think, it's almost like the blue states are all centered around Bangkok, the educated urban elite. And then everybody, you take Chicago and, you know, New York and, you know, and the big metropolises, and the red states surround Bangkok, the rural areas where Thaksin was popular, where Samak was quite popular. Maybe the less educated, the more rural folks, the more agrarian or the more rank and file kind of people. Is there more divisiveness in this country coming about? It always seems like those protesting have been the urban elite who protest against the populist policies of a Thaksin of Samak. You can't have, the country can't be divided like this forever without breaking up in some way.
Well, you have to look at the history of Thailand. So this is a country which was never colonized. So they always had like leading centers of foci of you know who who is the one to be seen as the one giving the guiding light to the country, and that's the king and the Buddhist religion. So that's, you spoke of the divide, of the rich and the poor, the elite in the city, and then the poor in the provinces. But because of Buddhism, I mean, this did not explode really in a big way. And then also because of the king, again, it did not explode in a big way. But you know, we are modern times now, so we cannot follow that all along. And there's statements like they cannot trust the poor to vote. Democracy gives them so much power because, you know, they can be bought. Well, not only is that an insult to them, but that could also happen to the elites.
Do you think Blumenpan will have to come in and anoint somebody in the end if this, you know, if this sort of impasse continues? I mean, people do, once the king speaks, people do tend to calm down a little bit. Is that what we're going to have to see?
I think for now that's the only realistic hope that we can see. But remember that he has treaded in very dangerous waters in these past 3 years. He in some way implicitly took sides. So then he will have to take a very, very careful step. But I think he's the big hope.
Awfully stressful for a monarch like that to have to get involved in matters of this sort. We'll watch for Wednesday. Thank you, Reuben. Great talking to you. Reuben Mondejar, City U.